So, welcome back to the Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, or welcome for the first time if that's the case. I want to share with you a story today from my brother in Christ, Grant Van Brimmer. He is not only a Christian, but he's also a veteran of the United States Army's 82nd Airborne Division from Fort Bragg. And he had an experience the other day, and I got his permission to share this with you, where he entered an IKEA, did not have a mask fully on. Long story short, he was kicked out of the store for that, despite explaining that he had medical validation for it. They insisted that he provide that information, and even then, when he explained why, they still kicked him out of the store. This needs to go viral. If you are a patriot, if you are a Christian, if you are a red-blooded American who respects our military, who respects the rights and privacies of all American citizens, especially when it comes to medical liberty and medical freedom, this needs to go viral. Not only does this need to go viral, but IKEA needs to be made fully aware of what it is that they've done, what they've allowed their staff to do, and they need to be asked how they're going to make this right. I don't want to hear anything about, well, you just got to suck it up. Get over yourselves. If you are the kind of person who's going to say that to a veteran who has experienced things that you're never going to dream of experiencing, who has faced things that you're never going to face, and then insists that he needs to cover his face and be out in public with people who cover their face, you are a shallow, pathetic human being. As he will describe in the video that you are about to see, covering your face in many areas, in many situations, makes you a bad guy. Means you can't be trusted. Now you take an American and you insert them into that situation, whether you agree with the wars or not, and then you bring them back to the United States and you reinsert them into that situation. You are going to trigger, for lack of better terminology, episodes of PTSD. You're going to do that. You're going to do that to an American who has served his country. For what? And why? And this is the tactic of IKEA. This is the tactic of Marxist government officials, Marxist elected servants who have determined that they get to tell you how to live your life. I'm going to let Grant do the rest of the talking. He is the one you need to listen to. You need to take this to IKEA. It's time that we stand up, fight for the rights of our fellow Americans. This is why I don't wear a mask when I go out. Because guys like Grant genuinely have a right to not have to be forced into one. Shame on you, IKEA, and shame on you, any American who would shame my brother Grant, or any other soldier who has served this country and has experienced things that you and your cushy, spoiled, rotten, prima donna little life will never have to deal with. I dare you to say something negative about Grant. I dare you.
Hey Facebook friends. Hey Facebook friends. I am at IKEA in Red Hook, Brooklyn. And I don't know whoever's gonna get on live to watch this, but this is the first time this has happened since COVID started. New York City mandates masks everywhere you go. And who's that got on? Oh, what's up, Matt Colvin? So whenever we go into stores, I usually just cover my mouth. I know you're supposed to cover your nose, but to give a little backstory of myself. Been deployed twice to Afghanistan, and did a lot of things there. And so I have gone to PTSD counseling and actually clinically diagnosed. I think the grace of God has kept me together better than any of that. Anyway, covering my entire face has been difficult. As veterans, you learn that those who are concealed are the enemy. And anyway, so there's been difficult times. Really busy stores are tough, but not having my whole face covered. I have sleep apnea as well. I don't need to get into more details of my health stuff. I hate doing that. But anyway, most stores in New York City, when I go in, not cover my nose, if they even ask me to put it over my nose, I say, hey, I have a health issue. And they go, okay, and you walk on. And then maybe some people ask again or something. If I say, hey, I have a PTSD issue, and it's just better if I don't cover my whole face. Almost everywhere that we've gone, never been a problem. Here at IKEA, for some reason this morning, a man named Juan, working the front, asked me to cover my nose, and I said, no sir, sorry. I said, it's for a medical issue. And he said, I still have to ask you to cover your nose. And I said, no sir, I'm not going to discuss this with you. And I went and walked in anyway with Erica and the kids. And then he followed us, keys clanking and everything. And I knew he was back there. Then we go down and get our cart. And then he said, sir, I have to ask you to still do this. I said, sir, listen, I am a combat veteran, and in order to just be in public, this helps a lot and, you know, minimizes issues with that. I said, but I really don't want to talk to you about this. And he was not understanding at all. He said, that doesn't matter, you have to just do that. And so I continued to tell him I'm just not going to do it. And he said, well, I need to call my manager and get him down here. And I was like, okay, hopefully the manager will be understanding then. I can just tell him the same thing, show him my military ID, and tell him, you know, the issue, which I don't have to anyway. I don't have to share any of my medical information with anybody. And while we're waiting, people are coming down the stairs, and I saw multiple people with their nose uncovered. And I said, wow, you're gonna single me out? And he's like, no, I'm just dealing with your issue, and, you know, then I'll take care of them. Which, first of all, this guy was on a mission. And anyway, so then when the manager guy came down, I told him the same thing, and he literally just said, yeah, I'm sorry, but we're just gonna have to still ask you to wear it that way. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This is unbelievable. And he's like, without a medical card that you can show me your medical stuff. And I was like, I don't have to show you any of my medical information just to prove that I don't have to cover my nose. I'm not even trying to not wear one at all. Just the little alteration matters a lot. And he was not understanding. He said, nope, this guy's name was Mike. And he just said, nope, this is the way it is. And you know how it is, these are, this is what everyone has to wear anyway. I'm like, no, I know. I mean, they don't even work anyway. Everyone knows that. But I get it. You're just like following protocol. But I thought that you guys would have some understanding. So, anyway, I then, again, after telling him who I was, showed him my ID and everything like that. Of course, he said, thank you. And he said, but we're going to have to ask you to leave. So then he literally took me through some secret side door and escorted me out of the building. And he kicked me out. So he literally kicked a veteran out of his store, of IKEA, right there, in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Juan and Mike kicked out a veteran who's diagnosed PTSD, deployed twice to Afghanistan, and I mean, I'm glad they have freedom, and I'm glad we all still do in some way or another. But this was just flabbergasting me. This is unbelievable that even with all of that, the staff at IKEA here cannot be just understanding that some people have different issues. So anyway, I wanted to get on here and tell everyone about it. Share this video with people. Let everyone know what the staff at IKEA are doing, even to U.S. combat veterans, in their dumb mask laws and how they're doing this. And anyway, I hope they change it, and I hope that they would be a lot more understanding, and especially to those with other health issues. I know I'm not the only one. I know people with asthma issues and stuff like that, that wearing this ridiculous mask that everyone knows doesn't even work for what they're saying it does. You know, they need alternate ways of shopping. So anyway, like I said, please share this and tag anyone you know that would be that would benefit from hearing from this or whatever. Thank you for listening. I just can't believe this happened. I got kicked out of IKEA. Anyway, God bless you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.
Sic Semper Tyrannis. Thus always to tyrants.